Ah. Ah.
For this video, we're going to have a quick recall on the concept of lines. In particular, we're going to be reviewing the equation of a line. And then after that, we're going to be discussing one of the key concepts in calculus, which is the derivative. So first, let's review some terminologies and concepts related to lines. So I have here two lines, the blue one and the red one. So first, the slope of a line describes how fast y changes with respect to x, or in other words, it describes the steepness of a line, kung gaano katarik yung isang linya. So halimbawa dito, I think mukhang mas matarik yung red kesa sa blue. Mas mataas yung pag-rise niya. So you can say na mas mataas yung slope niya. And then alam natin no, na kapag positive ang slope ng isang line, it rises from left to right, like the red one. So the red line has a positive slope. Meanwhile, itong blue one, it's rising from right to left. So this has a negative slope. Okay? And then we have your x-intercept, which is the x-coordinate of the point of intersection with the x-axis. So yung x-coordinate ng point kung saan tumatama sa x-axis yung line mo. Halimbawa, itong red line, tumatama siya sa x-axis at the point A0, no? So you can say that its x-axis is A, its x-intercept is A. Meanwhile, itong blue one, saan siya tumatama sa x-axis here sa origin. No? So it's the point 0, 0. You can say that its x-intercept is 0. And then the y-intercept is the y-coordinate of the point of intersection with the y-axis. So sa red line, ang kanyang point of intersection with the y-axis is 0b. So its y-intercept is b. And then yung blue line naman, again, saan siya tumatama sa y-axis? Dito rin sa origin. So yung kanyang y-intercept ay 0 din. Okay? So it's also important for us to know ano-ano yung mga information that will determine a unique line. Ano yung mga bagay na pag alam mo na, isang line na lang yung magko-contain ng information na yun? Well, 2 points in a line is enough to determine a unique line. Kapag meron kang 2 points, no, isang line lang po yung dumadaan doon sa 2 points na yun. And then, kapag given ka ng y-intercept at ng slope, isang line lang din no, yung dinidescribe given a specific slope and a specific y-intercept. And lastly, kapag alam mo yung isang point na dinadaanan ng line at yung kanyang slope, no, it's also enough to determine a single unique line. So, kapag meron ka palang line, again, you also knew this from Math 17, na if you have a line passing through x1, y1, x2, y2, yung slope ng line na yun is given by this formula. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or change in y over change in x. So now, we're now ready to recall the equation of a line. So we have 3 possible equations for a line depende po sa information na given sa inyo. Una, kapag ang alam mo ay isang point at isang slope, so pag meron kang line na dumadaan sa x0, y0 na may slope na m, then this is the equation of your line. Y minus y0 equals the slope times x minus x0. This is called your point slope form. Next, kapag naman ang alam mo ay yung slope at yung y-intercept ng line, then your line is you can write your line in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. This is called your slope-intercept form. And lastly, the 2-point form, no? Kapag alam mo yung dalawang points na dinadaanan ng line mo, then you can write the equation of your line like this. Similar lang po ang 2-point form sa point slope form, except yung slope. Dahil hindi mo alam yung slope, alam mo dalawang line, you can replace the slope with its formula, no? Then yung x0, y0 mo dito, well, it's any of these two na dinadaan ng line. Pwedeng x1, y1 yan, or pwedeng x2, y2 rin. Okay? So let's have some examples. So find the equation of the line with slope 3 passing through negative 110. So the information that we have is the slope and a point. Okay? So what we can use is your point slope form. So ito po yung point slope form. Ito yung pwede nating magamit since yung alam nating information, again, yung slope at isang point na dinadaanan ng line. Okay, so this is my x0, y0, negative 110. So I have your y minus 10, y minus y0 equals the slope, 3 times x minus negative 1. X naught is negative 1, so x minus x naught. Or y minus 10 equals 3 times x plus 1. Okay? Ano lang po simple. Next. Hanap daw tayo ng equation of the line with slope negative 4 passing through 0, 5. So one thing you could do is you already have your slope and a point. Parang dito, I could use the same form, which is your point slope form. Doing that, I get this, no? Y minus, my x naught, y naught is, or x0, y0 is 0, 5. So y minus 5 equals negative 4 is the slope times x minus 0, or this, no? Yung x minus 0, it's just x. So it's y minus 5 equals negative 4x. Or, I could also use one of the other forms, which is your slope-intercept form. Bakit po? Kasi alam mo na dumadaan siya sa 0, 5. So alam mo na ang y. So ito ay nasa y-axis, no? Yung 0, 5. Tama? Kasi yung x niya 0 eh. So alam mo na ang line mo ay may slope na negative 4 at may y-intercept na 5. So I could use that to use the slope-intercept form. I have y equals negative 4x plus 5. And these are actually the same line. Pag nilipat mo si 5 dun sa kabila, you'll get this one. And then, let's have this one. So I am now given 2 points. Obviously, I can use the 2-point form. Okay? Declaring x1, y1 and x2, y2, it doesn't really matter. Syempre, as long as dapat yung partner ni x1 is y1 and partner ni x2 is y2. So for this case, ang gawin ko, ito yung ituring kong x1, y1, ito yung ituring kong x2, y2. Pwedeng pagbaliktaran, ito si x2, y2, ito si x1, y1. Doesn't matter. So now, plugging everything here in the formula, y minus y1 is y minus negative 3, that's y plus 3, equals, yung slope formula, y2 minus y1, so that's 4 minus negative 3, that's 4 plus 3, over x2 minus x1, that's negative 5 minus 8, it's negative, or it's, so and then I have x minus 8, sorry, I have x minus 8 here, because 8 is my x1, so that's x minus x1. Or this slope will just be equal to negative 7 over 13. So this is my final answer. Okay? And then, recall din natin, no, yung concept ng parallel lines. Two lines are parallel. So parallel, they are not intersecting. That happens if your two lines have the same slope. Okay? Ang dalawang line naman ay perpendicular, meaning they are intersecting at the right angle. No? Sila ay perpendicular kapag po yung product ng kanilang slopes ay negative 1. Or another way to know is if they are negative reciprocal of each other. Halimbawa, negative reciprocal. Halimbawa, yung 2/3, ang negative reciprocal niya is negative 3/2. The reciprocal mo si 2/3, kinuha mo 3/2. And then, you negate it. So, negative 3/2. So, change the sign in reciprocal. Halimbawa, yung negative 2, no, kanyang negative reciprocal ay 1/2. Pag reciprocal mo si 2, 1/2, and then change the sign of negative 2. So, you get positive 1/2. Okay? Good. So, let's have some examples. So, sabi sa atin, let's determine if the following pairs of lines are parallel, perpendicular, or none of the two. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin? Well, the key is to find the slopes, no? Kailangan lang alam yung slopes ng mga line. Now, how do you know the slope of a line kung given sa iyo ay equation? Well, try your best, no? Always try to transform it in the form y equals mx plus p. And then kung ano yung nasa pwesto ni m, yun yung slope mo. Okay? So, halimbawa, Ito po, y equals 2x minus 6 and y equals negative 1 half x plus 7. Y equals 2x minus 6 is already of the form y equals mx plus b. My m being 2, my b being negative 6. So the slope of this line is the m. So this is 2. Okay? Oops, ignore that equal sign here. Ito naman second, it's also in the form y equals mx plus b. Negative 1 half po ang slope kasi negative 1 half ang nasa pwesto ni m. So what can you say about m1 and m2? How are they related? Are they equal? No. So they are not parallel. However, kakasabi ko lang kanina, they are negative reciprocals of each other. Because 2, ayun, kaya pala may equal doon, is 2 over 1. So pag ni-reciprocal ko siya, I get negative 1. Negative reciprocal is negative 1. So these two lines are perpendicular. Okay, good. Next, I have here 3y minus 4 equals minus 9x and y plus 3x equals 12. So, hindi pa obvious kung ano yung slope, no? Nung dalawang lines because they are not yet in the form y equals mx plus b. Let's try to transform them. So if I transform this, so parang ang goal is to isolate a y here and then the rest is on the other side. So itong 4, pwede kong ilipat sa kabila. I get plus 4. But again, this is y equals mx plus b, no? So kailangan y lang to, wala siyang coefficient. So I can divide both sides by 3. If I do that, magka-cancel yung 3 dito. Y na lang po ito. Sa kabila, minus 9x over 3, that's minus 3x. And then yung 4, magiging 4/3. Okay? So it's already of the form y equals mx plus b. My m here is negative 3. So siya yung slope ng unang line. Okay? This one, ito obviously, isang step lang to transform into y equals mx plus b. Lipat ko lang si 3x. No? Tama? Ano yung slope ng line na to? The number in the place of m is negative 3. So the slope of this line is negative 3. What can you say about these two? They are the same. These two lines have the same slope, therefore, they are parallel. And lastly, I have these two lines here. Okay? Itong una, transform natin sa slope-intercept form. So, naka-isolate na si y, kailangan ko na lang gawin, i-divide si 8, no? Para maiwan yung y doon. Pag ginawa ko yon, maiiwan si y sa kabila. Tapos dito sa right side, 2x over 8, that's 1/4 x plus 3 over 8. So y equals mx plus b, ang m ko ay 1/4. Wait, sorry, this is 1/4. Okay, annotate natin. This is 1/4. Okay. Good. Now, itong second, it's already in the form y equals mx plus b. Just need to identify the m is, in this case, it's negative 1/4. So what can you say about the two? They are not the same. Yung isa 1/4, yung isa negative 1/4. No? They are also not negative reciprocals of each other. Negative reciprocal na 1/4 is negative 4. Diba? So what can you say? They are neither parallel nor perpendicular. Okay? Now, let's answer this item. No? We are asked to find an equation of the line passing through 9, negative 4 and parallel to the line with slope negative 6. So again, ano yung mga kailangan mo to get the equation of a line? You can either have a line and a slope, y-intercept and the slope, or a point and a slope, y-intercept and the slope, and 2 points. No? In this case, I have 1 point What another info you can have, sabi niya, parallel daw yung line na hinahanap mo sa isang line na may slope na negative 6. So dahil sila po ay parallel, dapat pareho sila ng slope. Therefore, itong line na hinahanapan natin ng equation should also have a slope of negative 6. So I have now the infos that I need, a point and a slope. I can now use the point slope form. Okay? So this is my point, x0, y0, 9, negative 4, and my slope is negative 6. Okay? So using the point slope form, I get y minus negative 4 equals negative 6 times x minus 9. Okay. Let's make it a little bit less simple. This time, I'm looking for the equation of a line passing through negative 6, 13 and perpendicular to this line. Given yung equation ng isang line, no? Hanap daw ako ng line na perpendicular dito at ito ay dumadaan sa point na to. So ano-ano kaya ang information yung pwede natin makuha? Well, obviously, you have already one point in your line. It's perpendicular to this line. So, dapat po ang slope ng line na hinahanap ko ay negative reciprocal ng slope ng line na to. So, I can actually know the slope. But the slope of this line, this is of the form y equals mx plus b. So, its slope is actually 3 halves. Tama? So, ang negative reciprocal ng 3 halves ay negative 2/3. So, dapat ito yung slope ng line na hinahanap ko para perpendicular siya dito. Okay? Now, plug in na lang po sa slope sa point slope form. I get this one. Okay? Y minus 13 equals negative 2/3 times x minus negative 6 or x plus 6. Okay? And then let's have our last example for the lines. So, hanap daw ako ng equation of the line passing through 5, 7 and parallel to this line. Okay, so I have a point here. And then I can also have the slope of my line by noting of the fact that this is parallel to this line. So kunin ko lang yung slope ng line na to dahil parallel siya dito. Kung ano yung slope nito, yun din yung slope ng line na hinahanap ko. How do I know the slope of this line? Well, transform mo muna sa y equals mx plus b. So this is my point, no? So doing so, magiging ganito. Okay? Lipat ko si 3x. So I have 4y equals 10 or negative 3x plus 10. Tama? And then divide ko si 4. I get negative 3/4 x over a plus. This is 10 over 4 or 5 halves. Okay? Medyo madami niya ako mali sa slides na to. Pasensya na. Draw. Okay? Buy natin. This is 5 halves. 10 over 4. Okay? So, ano mangyayari? My slope is negative 3/4. Yun yung m. Dito. So, now I have my point. I have my slope. I can now get the equation. So, it's just y minus 7, 7 being my y0, equals negative 3/4 times x minus 5. Now, we are ready to talk about the concept of your derivative. Okay, so halimbawa meron kang graph na f of x, no? Ganito yung graph niya. Tapos itong x0, f of x0, no, is a point in the graph of f of x. Yung tangent line sa graph of f of x, pag sinabing tangent line, it's a line that passes through only once. So, isang line na dumadaan lang sa point na to, it looks something like this. Okay? It looks something like this. So, dito lang siya dumadaan, dito lang niya ini-intersect yung graph ni f at the point x equals x0 or x0, f of x0. Okay? So ano yung derivative? So yung derivative of f of x at x equals x0 denoted by f prime of x. Ito yung magiging notation natin for the derivative at x0, where x0 is any real number, no? Is the slope of this tangent line. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kung ano man yung slope ng blue line na to, yaan po yung tinatawag na derivative nitong f na to at the point x equals x0. But how do we know this slope? No? Pag given ako ng isang curve, tapos given ako ng isang point, paano ko malalaman yung slope ng derivative na dumadaan doon, nung tangent line na dumadaan doon? Well, what I can do is this. Pwede akong kumuha ng isang point, kahit anong point na gusto ko sa curve na to. Okay? Tapos, again, inahanap ko yung derivative, yung slope ng tangent line sa point na to. So, mula sa point na to, papunta rito, pwede akong mag-drawing ng line. Okay? Yung line na to, x, f of x. Ayaw yung point na to, x, f of x. Yung point na to, x0, f of x0. So, ano yung slope ng green line? Well, remember your formula for slope, passing through 2 points. No, ito yung formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Ito yung gawin kong x1, y1. Ito yung gawin kong x2, y2. So, magiging ganito. F of x minus f of x0 over x minus x0. Tama. Okay. So, ito yung slope, no, ng line passing through this and any other point in your curve. So, pag kahit kumuha ko ng point dito, pag kinuha ko yung slope na to, ganun pa din yung formula. So, pag kumuha ko ng mas malapit na point, ganun pa din. No? So, anong point ko? Pwede akong kumuha ng points, papalapit ng papalapit, doon sa x0, y0. X0, f of x0. Tapos eventually, palapit siya ng palapit dito sa blue line. So, yung slope ng green line, habang palapit ng palapit yung point dito sa blue point, no? Yung slope ng line na yun, palapit ng palapit dito sa slope ng blue line. Tama? So what I can do is just get this slope, no? And then let x approach x0. No? Papalapitin ko lang ng papalapitin si x kay x0, ma-estimate ko na, no, yung slope ng blue line. Kasi mas malapit kay x0, mas malapit yung green line sa blue line. Mas kamukha niya, no? No? Pag samakto sa x0, lalapat na siya dyan sa blue line. Okay? So again, I can just take this slope, pero si x, papalapitin ko po sa x0. Okay? So yung limit definition ng derivative na tinatawag is just the limit of this as x approaches x. Okay? Or yung mas magiging convenient para sa atin to use, no? If I let x, itong ilalim, x minus x0, pag tinawag ko siyang h, halimbawa, no? Ano mangyayari? Pag yung x papalapit sa x0, yung x minus x0 papalapit sa 0, no? Habang ito lumalapit sa x0, ito lalapit, itong buong h lalapit ng 0. So, itong limit na to magiging limit as h approaches 0. No? Tapos itong x sa loob ng f of x, pag nilipat ko yung x0 dito, I get f of x0 plus h. Yun yung katumbas ni x, no? Itong f of x0 or f of x0, it remains the same. Tapos itong x minus x0, well, it's just your h. Okay, so this is another form of the limit definition, okay, of your derivative. So the slope of this line is just the limit of this, just this limit. Okay? Okay. So let's try some examples. Hanapin daw natin yung derivative ng 2x minus 3 at the point xy. No? At any point xy. And then, hanapin daw natin yung derivative at 5. So yung f prime of 5. Okay, good. So first, I want the derivative at any x. No? So yung x not dun sa limit formula, pwede ko na lang palitan ng, yung kasi sa limit formula, it's the derivative at x0. So yung x0 dun, pwede ko na lang palitan ng x. No? So, ganito siya. Okay? So yung f of x0 plus h, naging f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So I just need to get this limit to compute the derivative. But what is f of x plus h? Well, I just replace every x in f with x plus h. So yung 2x minus 3, magiging yung x, gagawin ko lang x plus h. Tapos itong f of x, well, siya din yan. So just minus the original function over some h there. Simplify natin. Itong sa taas, pwede ko i-distribute si 2. I get this. Minus, itong minus dito, distribute ko na rin. So, magiging minus 2x plus 3. Minus 2x, positive 3. Tapos magka-cancel si 2x, no, with minus 2x dito. Tapos may negative 3 tsaka plus 3 dito. Ang matitira sa baba, sa taas ay 2h. Sa baba, meron akong h. I can cancel h. So, magiging limit ng 2, which is just 2. Okay? So this is your derivative at any x. F prime of x equals 2. Okay? Next, I want the derivative at 5. This time, my x0 is 5. So, isang pwede kong gawin, ulitin ko tong manipulations na yan. This time, my x is 5. So, I have a f of 5 plus h minus f of 5 over h. Tapos gawin ko ulit to, substitute. No? Or, since nakakuha na ako ng general form for f prime of x for any x, I could just plug in 5 here. I get what? F prime of 5 equals 2. Okay? If f prime of 5 here, well, wala namang x dito. No? So, kahit ano i-plug in ko dyan, actually, it's just 2. So, f prime of 5 is 2. Okay. Good. Next, hanapin ko daw yung derivative ng function na x squared plus 1 for any x. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng g prime of x. And then, hanapin ko yung derivative at negative 1. Okay. So, gamitin ulit natin yung limit. So, I have the limit as h approaches 0 ng g of x plus h minus g of x over h, no? So in this case, g of x plus h, palitan ko lang po yung x ng x plus h. I have this minus g of x minus siya mismo over h. I can expand this. Pag kinuha mo yung limit at this stage, you'll get 0 over 0, no? Even dito, as early as this, kapag kinuha mo yung limit, makuha mo 0 over 0. Kaya, nag-simplify pa tayo to get something na hindi 0 over 0. So, ito, simplify din natin. What we can do is, let's expand this x plus h here, na naka-squared. Doing so, I get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 1 here, minus ito, distribute ko lang si minus dito, magiging minus x squared minus 1 over h. Okay? Now, ano yung magka-cancel? X squared will cancel, 1 will cancel. So, ang matitira sa taas, ito na lang part na to, 2xh plus h squared over h sa baba. So, yung numerator ko, lahat may h, no? So, I can cancel h here. Matitira. Yung 2x mawawala ng isang h, itong h ko mawawala ng isang h. I have this. And then as h goes to 0, I can just plug in h equals 0 here. I get 2x. Okay, so my derivative, g prime of x, is actually 2x. And then, g prime of negative 1, I just plug in negative 1 to your general form. That's easier. Instead of doing this pero negative 1 plus h yung gagawin mo, no? Ang haba pa nun. So, plug in ko na lang yung negative 1 dito. I'll get negative 2. Okay? So, that's it. So, yun yung pinaka-concept ng derivative. For your next video, mapapansin mo sobrang tedious na mag-compute ng limit ng paulit-ulit. No? I will be teaching you shortcuts on how to compute derivatives easier and faster. So, that's it.